Bienvenidos a una edición más de Players Only Podcast, donde sea y como sea que nos estén escuchando. Esto es nuestro Pop 101. Para nuestro programa de hoy, entrevista con nada más y nada menos que Shelton Eppler, quarterback de los Osos de Monterrey. Yo soy Diego Ruiz y estoy acompañado de Rodrigo Ruiz. ¿Cómo estás, hermano?
Mi hermano, un gusto saludarte de nuevo, muy contento, muy emocionado por este capítulo. La verdad es que, pues, güey, o sea, entrevista de 5 estrellas, es creo que nuestra segunda entrevista con un jugador norteamericano en los 101 capítulos que llevamos de Pop y, pues bueno, lo platicamos en el capítulo 100, posiblemente uno de los 10, 15 personajes más importantes del fútbol americano nacional hoy por hoy. Entonces, pues nada, güey, muy, muy contento porque Eppler haya aceptado la entrevista y muy contento porque estoy seguro que va a ser un gran, gran episodio de Players Only Podcast.
Dos cosas de mi parte antes de empezar. Estaba tan emocionado que me di cuenta 10 segundos antes de entrar a en
Te
vivo
vi,
que no tenía el
te vi,
micrófono.
te vi,
No
güey.
tenía mi micrófono. Estaba tan emocionado y estaba tan inmerso así en la preparación y pues bueno, tuvimos la oportunidad de platicar con Shelton antes de entrar y de verdad, pues digo, no tenía mi micrófono, pero bueno, así de emocionado estoy. Y digo, tampoco quiero como que siempre, no me encanta hablar mucho como en absolutos, pero honestamente sí podemos estar hablando de los mejores quarterbacks, los mejores jugadores que han pisado México, ¿no? Estamos hablando de uno de los talentos excepcionales que han pisado territorio nacional y pues bueno, tú ya bien lo comentaste, uno de nuestros invitados, el cual más nos emociona tener aquí con nosotros, Shelton Eppler. Sus números lo avalan, la historia que ha tenido en el LFA la avala y de verdad, su inclusive historia previa antes de llegar al LFA habla por sí sola, ¿no? Le tocó jugar contra Joe Burrow, por ejemplo, cuando jugaba en Northwestern State contra LSU y la verdad lo hizo bastante bien, o sea, tú ves los números, ves el partido y lo hace bien, ¿no? Entonces, de verdad, estamos muy, muy emocionados de tener a Shelton, la figura quizás más influyente y más impactante del contexto actual de la LFA, así lo podría definir.
Creo que lo platicamos, ¿no? Entre él, Jeremy Johnson, Juwan Manigo, de los jugadores, la cara, ¿no? De la LFA, ¿no? El jugador más, posiblemente más importante de la liga. Y nomás, igual mencionarlo, nomás darle contexto a la audiencia que probablemente lo sepan, pero en caso de que no, o sea, lo platicábamos con él un poquito ahorita en la previa. Su carrera desde high school en Texas, uno de los circuitos más competitivos de fútbol americano a ese nivel en Estados Unidos. Creo que leyendo en preparación a la entrevista, se retiró, o sea, se graduó de high school siendo el cuarto líder en pases de anotación en toda la historia de high school en Texas, o sea, güey, la clase de quarterbacks que ha habido, que han salido de ahí, la clase de inversión, de importancia que tiene el deporte específico en ese contexto en Estados Unidos, pues bueno, te habla de la calidad de jugador que es, de lo competitivo que es. Y nada, nomás un anuncio para la audiencia que lo tenga, seguramente lo tienen presente. Va a ser una entrevista en inglés, luego vamos a tratar de poner en la parte de YouTube los subtítulos para que sea más fácil para la audiencia en caso de que no dominen el inglés, pues que puedan consumir este contenido, pero en este en vivo la entrevista la vamos a estar llevando a cabo en inglés, entonces pues solamente era ese pequeño comentario antes de empezar.
Pues bueno, aquí le vamos a dar la bienvenida. Nada más antes de empezar, y una estadística que se nos hizo ridícula, 71 pases de touchdown como junior en high school. Y pues bueno, ves el éxito que tuvo en high school, college, ahora en LFA. Y pues bueno, para mí es un placer darle la bienvenida a Shelton Eppler. Aquí lo metemos al estudio, al en vivo. Aquí le damos la bienvenida. Shelton, welcome to Players Only Podcast. Pleasure having you here. How are you doing? How is everything going in Monterrey?
Awesome. Thank you guys for having me. Everything's going great. Monterrey is like a second home to me. It's great to see some familiar faces and get this season rolling.
You guys started practicing, I believe, last week. Like, just give us a quick overview about what's different from this year to last year, how first practice went, new faces. Obviously, we've been keeping up with the free agents, but just your overall comment on the first week of practice there in Monterrey.
It's been an amazing start. Obviously, we got some key core players coming back. We got some new guys as well as new guys in the draft that we're welcoming. So we're very excited. We're just trying to hit the ground running, try to get one step ahead, just try to get 1% better, and whatever we can do to improve, whether that be on the field, off the field, just take care of everything and control the things we can control. It's going to be a great year. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, and first, before starting the interview, we wanted to thank you for the space. Thank you for your time. You know, the LFA prep, LFA practices right now with the season right on the corner. It must be pretty hectic, the preparation with all the stuff going on in Monterrey. So we want to appreciate that you give us the time in your agenda and your schedule to have a time with players only podcast. And yeah, we want to start with the big news that kickstarted the LFA conversations back in February. So we wanted to talk about the team overview for the 2025 season. So the big news that kickstarted, as everyone know, the big news also LFA with the new administration with Ryan Khalil and Blake Griffin heading this new leadership. Just your overall perspective, and have you had direct conversations with Ryan Khalil and the rest of the owners? How's the dynamic been brewing this past couple of months regarding the new administration?
Absolutely. Obviously, when I first heard the news as well, it's just obviously very exciting, not only for the league, but our team as well. Hopefully, this brings a whole new amount of viewerships, new fans that had no idea about this league in Mexico. It's very, very good football. I've had the pleasure of meeting Ryan Khalil several times. He was at practice this week with us, so he was on the field giving us some tips, just watching. And it's just it's very surreal seeing such an NFL veteran like that to have so much experience, just to come to Monterrey and just watch us practice, watch us do it at a high level, and obviously try to compete. And the end goal is obviously to win a championship. They're former athletes. They know what to expect. They expect that out of us, and hopefully this just allows us to prepare and overcome any obstacles that we face this year.
Has anything like changed, from an operational standpoint, with they were just maybe thinking about new ways of like installing the offense, or have they got like any hands-on things that wanted you guys to change from what you were doing last year, or has it been like a more work in progress right now?
I think this year is more of allowing them to come in and just see how things operate down here before any drastic changes happen. Whether that be, hey, let's see how practices operate. Let's see how the first game operates. How do we schedule everything? How do we get fans out to the stadium? And all those things. So it's not really drastic changes yet. I just think that they're trying to be accustomed to this new culture, Mexico football. Just try to just get out to the fans and know that the fans are very passionate. What can we do to elevate that level to putting on a show for them so they can come out, whether it be Friday, Saturday, or Sunday games, even some Monday, and just to put out there a platform to not only for the fans, but to do it at a high level.
Is that something that has surprised you? Because Fundidores and now Osos has been like probably one of the most attractive teams in LFA, with you at the helm, with you at the position of quarterback, with many impact players at the skill position. Is that something that surprises you, that maybe the response from the people there in Monterrey has not been like in Caudillos, for example, or in Tijuana, even for the team with Calgos? Is that something that surprises you? Is that something that definitely the new administration is working on?
Absolutely. I think whatever you have, if you're not trying to improve it, then you're doing something wrong. So I think with this new ownership group, this new organization that we transferred over from Fundidores and now to Osos, it's what can we do to improve off the field as well as on the field? Because as players, we're trying to put on a show, make it exciting, and give them something that they want to go to. And off the field, that's obviously is what can we do better to get fans in the stands? What can we do better to make people want to come and not miss that show on the field? Just because football is it is the greatest sport, in my opinion, out there. And just to have that at a high standard. And we just trying to welcome as many new players, many new fans to this. And hopefully we can do that at a high level, just so we can have that attraction grow even more, just to put out there on a table, just to understand that the Mexico players are very good athletes. There's very good football all around the country, and hopefully we can keep this ball rolling in a good way.
And the other thing, just like going over to the football side, obviously you guys have always been very active, like on the free agent. No, you guys bring in a lot of high quality players. Obviously, you were a big part of that. But like from now that you've been here for, I believe this is year 4 for you, or year 3.
This is going on year 4.
Yeah. How involved are you like on the construction of the team in the terms of Like, do you reach out to Pelon, to Coach Pelon Valdez, to ownership? Like, I feel that we need to improve in this position, maybe this kind of player. Obviously, you guys brought up some guys that have been in NFL practice squad players, experiencing CFL, UFL, that are hopefully going to have a big impact on the season. But are you involved at all in the roster construction, or do you offer your perspective as a quarterback that's been now with the team for a couple of years about what do you feel needs to improve for you guys to get to a championship level again?
Yes and no. Just because at the end of the day, I am the quarterback. I am a part of this team, so I'm just trying to control what I can control. Whether that be if they ask for my insight or perspective on things, yes, I'm going to give it because at the end of the day, I'm only want what's best for this team. Where in the years past, I've had several players that I've played with that I highly recommended to bring here. So I've had that conversation with some of the coaches, Coach Pelon, Coach Alfredo, and some of those guys where it's like, hey, it's like I got this guy that's really good. If we're looking for this position, here it is, and that's it. I don't want to be too pushy in the sense because I'm a football player at the end of the day. I'm not in the I'm not in the management. I'm not in the recruiting. But when those questions are asked to me, I want to do what I can to improve our team, but also remember that I have to perform at the end of the day. So I'm trying to control what I can control.
I'm talking about specifically the free agents that you have. Also, Monterrey has recruited for this season. We're talking about Johnny Hudson, D-line, Keith Gibson, DB, Vaughn Taylor Jr., D-line, Marcus Taylor, wide receiver Kevin McKnight, wide receiver Jamal Hodge, linebacker, all with either Division I or even NFL experience at training camps. Have these players have been integrated? Have you had a chance to meet them? Or are they right now in Monterrey? What are your impressions of these new high caliber players that Monterrey is definitely putting the stamp on which free agents and what free agents to seek out for the league?
Absolutely. Yeah. Some of the guys are already in. I've gotten to meet some of them. They're already starting to practice. Some other guys are coming in this week. So I'm excited. Obviously, they've played at a high level. So hopefully when they come in, they can bring in that leadership role. They know how things operate at that high level. And we also want to continue that here to just raise that level of play in Mexico and just bring that insight on what can we do to improve, whether that meetings, watching film together, on the practice field, just picking each other's brains, just because we've all come from a different background. We've all come from different schemes, and whatever we can collectively improve on and just try to win that championship, obviously, is what we're going to do. So that's if I'm helping them correct them in practice and stuff like that of what I'm seeing as well as what they're seeing and reading off me. I'm all open ears on that just because at the end of the day, I want to improve our team and be the best when it comes on week one.
And how big is, for example, you mentioned on something about the culture of football here in Mexico. Like how as a leader, as a quarterback of the team, like how much part or how much time do you spend like just being some kind of translator to the new players, to new American players about, the LFA, like just life in Mexico overall, because obviously, it's a pretty big change, coming over from whatever league, international league, professional league, down in Mexico. Do you feel like that's part of your priorities as a leader of the team to just like, hey guys, this is how things kind of go down here in Mexico? I don't mean that in a negative way, but just like playing as a translator for the new players.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, going into year 4, I guess I got a little insight on that of how things operate, how players or our teammates operate, and what kind of goes on. What I try to do is I try to be an open book. I always want to try to meet those new guys and understand where they come from, why are they doing what they're doing, and what's their end goal. Because once you understand that, I think you only get closer. You only bring the best out of each other. And so as soon as you adapt and have that good relationship built, then it's only going to prepare you and excel you as the games come around. So if I can do that, if I can help guys feel more comfortable, because at the end of the day, everybody's sacrificing something, whether that be time away from family, jobs, or just picking up and moving to Mexico. It's going to be hard. It's going to be difficult. And if I can be that guy that they can lean on, I'm open arms just because I'm going through that too. So I'm going to need someone like that as well. And so I would definitely welcome that.
Now, speaking about the preparation from the preseason that you have, you mentioned that Tuesday was the first practice for Osos, right?
So when I got in on this past Monday, so about a week ago, and then our first practice was that next day on Tuesday. So I think we were meeting before then. We were doing like some conditioning stuff as a team. It's just once I got in, practice has kind of already started, but then that's when we kind of hit the ground running with all the new imports coming in, as well as some of the newer guys that we drafted from the LFA draft. And so, that was my first practice, at least, and some other guys' first practice. But we as an organization have been rolling for a couple weeks now.
So for you personally, I don't know what was the dynamic for the previous seasons on 2022, 2023, 2024, but is it a challenge that it's just about 3-4 weeks and you get week one of the season? What is the major challenge that it presents to you as a quarterback to gel and install the offensive playbook and get to know all the new offensive playmakers at the skill position, at the running back, wide receiver, even at the offensive line positions? What is the main challenge for you that only you get a limited time to prepare for the season?
I think, like you said, it's that limited time before the season. So whatever we can do, whether that be start studying the playbook before you even get to Monterrey. We have little Zoom calls. I constantly talk with Coach Alfredo. This is kind of a similar playbook in a sense, but we are changing some things. So whatever I can do to learn better, just that way when I get here and hit the ground running, I'm able to be that coach on the field for those newer guys to get them in the right position, knowing the right play. And that way it's only going to help in a sense because like you said, it's 3 weeks before the first game. So whatever we can do to be better in that aspect, we're going to do and try to take advantage of.
Is it similar to a dynamic from last year, for example? Because this season underwent some major challenges to get rolling. It was certain a little bit of uncertainty. Starting on January, February, we really didn't know if LFA was gonna go hit the ground running on 2025. But how was it like last year? Did you have more time? Did you have more time in Monterrey previous to the season, or is it something like a similar occurrence from last year's?
I'd say it's a similar occurrence from last year. However, the only change was we had a week one bye. Okay. So that was the only difference in that sense. So we had that extra week to kind of watch film on who our next opponent was, gel more as a team, and make sure that we're ready to roll as that week 2 rolled around. As in this year, it's obviously we don't have any bye weeks because we only have 9 teams, or correct, 8 teams, and so there's no bye weeks until after the season. So whatever we can do to be on the same page, to gel faster, whether that be meeting outside of meetings, just hang out with the teammates, hang out with the new guys, just to kind of see what they're seeing, understand how they approach the game of football, and then we go from there.
And the other thing that I think is pretty big for you guys, like the core of the offense mostly stays the same. Batiste is back, Justice is back, Tom Yager is back. Like, how big is that for you as a quarterback to have like the skill position players mostly come back? The offensive line, you guys made some pretty big. You guys went pretty heavy on offensive linemen in the draft, but the core of the line stays from last year. And do you feel like that's going to help you like go to the next level as an offense? Do you feel like the best offensive football for the team is still yet to come? And part of that is because you're keeping like the same core of players together.
Absolutely, I think that's the case. Just being more comfortable in Monterrey as well. Just because, like we talked about a little bit earlier, is those new guys is you never know what to expect when you go to a foreign place, whether that be within Mexico or outside. So when those new guys get in, just trying to get them feel comfortable, they can lean on us, these leaders that have been here before, that have been in this offense before, like we've just talked about, and just holding them to a higher standard. Just because now you're a coach on the field, where we've been playing together for a couple years now, and I'm only trying to get better as an offense, because if we don't get any better, we're getting worse, and that's not the case. I don't want that to happen at all, and I won't let that happen. So I think I'm holding them to a higher standard, just like they're holding me. So we're only trying to put what's best out there on the field, and there's only the best is yet to come.
And you've talked a little bit about your relationship with Coach Fredo, and we obviously follow not only what he does in LFA, but also what he does in college here in Mexico. And one of the things that we wanted to ask you is just give us a little more insight into your relationship with him, and specifically because you guys offensively, for LFA standards, you guys are pretty diverse. You do different stuff in the run game. You do like different stuff every week on the passing game. Like, how do you talk about the process you have with Coach Alfredo, just in building the playbook, just game planning every week, and how much input do you have to the stuff you like to do as a quarterback? So obviously you already have a big career, just not here in Mexico, but previously.
Mhm. I honestly think that all offensive playbooks are pretty much similar in the sense of plays and concepts that are ran. It's just terminology is a little bit different. So it's like, obviously you don't want to stay the same. You want to break those tendencies that you're used to running. So whatever we can do to change a few things to get a different looks. And because at the end of the day, it's 11 versus 11. You basically you just got to win each play. Count on your brothers, and if you can master one play and run it 5 different ways, then why not? I think that's only going to help you in your arsenal in the playbook. So we just try to stick to what we know. However, we don't want to be that tendency of, oh, you got to expect this out of this certain formation, or, oh, this guy's in, what's coming. So we always want to be different. But at the end of the day, we just got to score points. So what do we do best? And that's what we got to stick to.
Now, you spoke a little bit about your relationship with Coach Alfredo. We wanted to ask you, how's your relationship with Coach Valdez? How big was for you personally to get him back this year with the new administration? How's the experience working with him and his staff? Coach Valdez coming from a defensive context. He was a defensive coordinator. How is your relationship with you as a quarterback and him as a defensive play caller?
I think awesome. He's definitely a player's coach. Obviously, you have to have respect for him since he is one of the all-time leading tacklers in Mexico. Obviously, if we have a guy that's getting some water or something like that off to the sideline and we need a linebacker to step in, he's the first one to go out there. So I get a kick out of that, and it's awesome, but it's who wouldn't want to play for a guy like that?
Could he suit up? Could he suit up right now?
How big his traps and shoulders are, I think he's got a few years left. I would hate to see him in an A gap, but no, he's an awesome guy. He's an awesome coach, and he's someone you always want to play for. And I think he only brings the best out of you. He has a reputation that speaks for himself, and that's what you want to play for. That's what you want to create for yourself and your team. And not only Coach Pelon, but also Coach Alfredo. I think I missed a question earlier, but Coach Alfredo, that is my guy, man. He could talk ball all day. We could talk about family. He's someone that I can lean on that, hey, if I need something, he's the first person I call. And I couldn't speak highly enough of both of those guys.
Oh, that's awesome to hear. And one of the things that we also wanted to ask, and you've touched on this a little bit, is, for example, Coach Pelon and Coach Alfredo and Coach Juan Ramos in Auténticos, they do, like, we believe, at least from our perspective, from a schematic standpoint, they do a lot of interesting things. Like, were you surprised by that when you came here? Like, were you, I don't know, did they surprise you about how much of high-level coaching they do, or their expertise on the game of football? Because obviously, if you don't have a lot of context of college football in Mexico, you may not know that there's some teams that do play at a very high level. Was that surprising for you when you first met them, when you first came over to Mexico?
Absolutely. It kind of goes in hand with, I didn't know much about the LFA before I came here. That other than I played in high school, the Tigres.
Yeah.
I didn't know there was a college level. I only thought there was high school and that was it. So when I got over here and being able to see the Clásico versus Borregos and Tigres, and just seeing how the atmosphere, and it's like, who wouldn't want to enjoy that, or who wouldn't want to turn that into like the El Clásico del Norte with us versus Dinos? It's like, that's what you want in football. That's what you want to create, those big time games where it's only going to bring the best out of everyone. And so with those guys at the helm of it, and the expertise that they have, the coaching that they have at a high level, we're gonna be prepared, just like I know every other team in this league is going to be prepared, and I'm glad to have the coaches that I do.
That's awesome. And the other thing that we wanted to touch upon is just offensively, going back to 2022, you guys were champions. Obviously, 2023, 2024, you guys, Caudillos has been obviously the team that has won the championship. But what do you feel like offensively the team needs to get back to a little bit to get to that high level in 2025? Is it more consistency in the run game? Do you feel like, I don't know, maybe pass protection? Is it an overall thing about the offense? We're just playing more complementary football, offense and defense. Like, what's the one thing that you feel that the team needs to get back to get back to that championship round?
I think we can all improve, whether that be offensive, defensively, or special teams. And I'll take that one on the shoulders and start with me. I need to take care of the football. Obviously, the more you turn over the ball, the less chance you have of winning. And it starts with me, and whatever I can do to excel us as a team, whether that throw for 300 yards or run for 300 yards, whatever we need to do to win and score more points than the other team, that's what I want to do. And I know we have a history of throwing the ball and all this, but it's if we need to run the ball 30 times, 40 times a game, let's do it. At the end of the day, let's win football games and let's play as long as we can, because that's all that matters. And at the end of the day, we want to hold that trophy up.
Now, we don't want it to be a Caudillos conversation, obviously, but you as a quarterback, from your optics, you watching the video and playing obviously against them, what is the biggest challenge that Caudillos as a team presents? Also, from your optics, from a quarterback perspective, what do you think is what Caudillos has separated from the other teams from the league?
I think they handle adversity very well. Whether they're down 17 in the third quarter or the start of the fourth, they always seem to find a way. And I think that's what every team in this league can take a look at and just learn from it. It's like no matter what happens, no matter what the score gets to, you always have a chance. And until the clock hits zero, we fight till the finish. And I think they do a very good job at that. And it just goes to show, because of the past 2 years, look what has happened. And so no one's been able to overcome that. And props to them, because that's an awesome accomplishment, and it's very hard to do.
And what's the other thing that we've noticed over the last few years is you and Jeremy Johnson have kind of emerged as maybe the Brady and the Manning rivalry here in LFA, between the two, the teams that, or two of the teams that have the most success here in the league. Do you have any relationship with Jeremy? I remember he commented last year that he texted you at some time that you guys have a friendly rivalry or something. So if you have any, what's your relationship? Not only to Jeremy, but just to other American players and Mexican players around the league.
Yeah, absolutely. Jeremy's a great guy, obviously a great football player, but even better guy off the field. I'm always open to talking to people. I know we may be on different teams and all this, but that I'm always trying to create friendships to grow the game, because at the end of the day, we're humans, and everyone goes through something that no one really talks about. And if I could be that guy that you could come to and talk to, I'm definitely could call me, whatever. And I think Jeremy's the great guy and is the exact same way. And we've built a relationship over the past 2 years that he's been in this league, and I can't speak highly enough of him. Obviously, his credentials speak for himself. And what better way to go out than 22-0 and win 2 championships? You can't ask for more than that. So he's a great guy, a great football player, and as someone I think he's definitely one of my friends. So I cherish that, and I'm grateful for that.
Now, speaking about the expectations for 2025, because they are set way high for you, Osos Monterrey, because all of the conversations and all of the news and the headlines you have been doing since February with the new administration. From the outside looking in, it's obviously we us look at it as championship or bust. So is this something that it is talked about in your locker room with coaches, with players, with the staff, with the front office? How do you handle the pressure and the high expectations that this team has generated in the past couple of months? How do you handle all this pressure that is on Osos Monterrey to deliver a championship that you have not been able to attain since 2022? So how is this dynamic brewing? How is this dynamic working with Shelton Eppler and the players and the coaches?
Yeah, I think pressure is a privilege. Not everyone gets that opportunity. So if you have a little pressure on you, you must be doing something right. But at the end of the day, it's every team's championship or bust, in my opinion. If you're not shooting for that goal, then why are you playing the game? It's everybody says, oh, just to have fun. Well, winning's fun to us. You know, that's my goal, is to win every game that we play. And so I like holding ourselves to that higher standard, just because I'm not going out there to have fun. I want to go out there to win, and win at a high level and put on a good show for the fans. So yes, I love that. I love pressure. And I'm welcoming that with open arms, just because I love being in those positions to see what I'm made of.
And obviously you play in a city in Monterrey that in Mexico it's known, the best two football programs right now in the country in college are from Monterrey. Soccer, I've probably noticed, pretty big over there, and they have
Mm-hmm.
two very successful teams. Also, baseball, obviously we know your brother played professionally there in the city. Just your relationship with the city, like how much has it grown over the last few years? Does your family ever come over? What's like their perspective about living in Mexico and just Monterrey in general?
Yeah, I think just getting here from Monterrey in the first year, it's you never know what you're getting yourself into till you're there. So I've just come to love Monterrey. It's been all in Mexico in general. It's become, like I said, my second home. It's very Americanized in the city of Monterrey, just because how the business city and everything around it. There's all the very beautiful plazas, the malls, the big tall skyscrapers, stuff like that, and the mountains speak for themselves. So it's been awesome to us, my family. It's obviously they're not here with me full time, so whenever they can come up for the home games, they stay for a couple weeks. Just try to take them around the city. Just go explore something new every time, just because there's so much to explore here. The city's so beautiful and very large. So just trying to get out as much as possible and just take advantage of being in such an amazing place with even better people.
And
Have you been able to get to other places here in Mexico? And I don't know if you had a chance, or maybe football is it's a lot of time consuming for you, obviously, and then you go back to your hometown. Or have you been able to visit other places in Mexico?
Outside of football, whether that be traveling to like Mexico City, Tijuana, Juarez, cities like that. But then also I've obviously been to like Cozumel, Cancun, Playa Mujeres, stuff like that for vacation. So I mean, just seeing how different every place you go to is. It's just not different in a bad way, though. It's just different in you get to see different things, different cultures in each city or state that you go to. So it's very beautiful in my opinion, and I can't speak highly enough of it, because it's treated me and my family so well. So I'm only going to speak good about it.
I'm guessing Cancun is probably one of your favorite places here in Mexico.
It's definitely up there. That's where me and my wife went for our honeymoon. So
Oh, nice.
so that was my first year. We got married and went on our honeymoon, and 2 days later, that's when I came to Monterrey for the first time, and to come play football. So that was a little difficult, but at least we got to experience Cancun and all those nice, beautiful resorts.
And do you ever, now that you're in year 4 and obviously the leagues continues to grow, obviously, now new owners in Monterrey that are such high profile owners that hopefully help bring the league to the next level. But do you ever like stop and think about your legacy as a player here in the country? Is that something that's ever like it crossed your mind about, hey, I'm being part of building something that hopefully is going to be here for a long time, and just building a legacy in the game of football here in Mexico? Is that part of the equation for you at all, or you try to stay like in the day to day?
I'd say yes and no, obviously, because I want to. I think my legacy in life is just to leave something better than I found it. So that could apply to football, the where I'm at, to who I meet. So I'm always trying to improve things for the better. So if I can do that in a positive note for the LFA and continue growing this to hopefully to be a rival to like the CFL, the UFL, something like that of that status, then that's what I want to do. Just because I think the people deserve it here in Mexico. I think the level of play here, all the athletes that go through the college system and to the LFA draft, they need that. I think they deserve that as well. And so whatever I can do in that positive note to leave something better, that's my goal.
And when you go back home, do they like the people that maybe don't know that all that's going on here in Mexico? Do they like do they are surprised when you talk about it? Do they give you a hard time maybe about football in Mexico? Like, is that really a thing, or it's just more like I don't know. Like, do they give you a hard time? Maybe that's my
Um,
question.
I wouldn't necessarily say a hard time. I would just say that they don't really know enough.
Okay.
Just because, when they ask, oh, where can I watch the games? Or, oh, there's a league there. And I'm like, absolutely, there's a league. And I try to speak highly enough about it just because I want them to do their research about it, watch the games to get involved. Just because, like I said, it's a very high level of football. And I think more people need to get used to seeing this type of football in Mexico. And whatever that I can do to grow that, whether that's speak on podcast about it or just post stuff on social media, whatever I can do to grow the game in a positive light, that's what I want to do, just because y'all and everyone else involved in the LFA deserve it.
And how was your experience in the ELF? We know that you went to Vienna Vikings and you fared pretty well. We saw some videos that went viral for the LFA community, and we were very proud of having an LFA player, the pride of LFA, going over there overseas and doing so well. Could you talk about some of the differences culturally from a football destination perspective? How does the talent level compare from the ELF to the LFA? Where would you put both leagues from a talent perspective?
You put me in a bind here. No, I think I speak highly for both. Honestly, I think the obviously the level of play is very high in both. What I would say is the level of play in Mexico is a little bit better in a sense because you grow up in it. You grow up playing high school. You grow up playing college. Whereas in Europe, they don't have that. It's considered a hobby. So I think the league is definitely growing over there as well, and it's only going to get better. But that's where something in the future, maybe you could have like a Champions League or something, and you can test to see who's the best. That's what I'm growing for, and as well as like in Japan, for say. I think that's to bring the best out of everyone is to play the best. So whatever we can do, and I like I said, the ELF is a great league. The LFA is a great league, and the talent level is there. But yeah, it's an awesome experience. I enjoyed it very much, and I'm excited to see something in the future. Hopefully, like that can get worked out where we can see who the battle of the best each year.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. And just with your experience over there, and you played previously in Europe, right? In Denmark, I believe you played it.
Yes.
Yeah. What's like, was there one thing you saw there in Europe from like a league perspective, maybe in Denmark or in ELF, that you maybe think that, hey, we could replicate this in LFA and it would help grow the league? Because obviously everybody wants the league to grow and there's some challenges to that. But was there anything of your experience in Europe that you feel like LFA maybe is not doing correctly or missing out on that would help the league just be in a much better position going forward?
Yeah, I think one thing about the ELF that they do a very well job of is broadcasting in all kinds of languages. Just because Europe is so vast and they speak so many different languages, but they try to cater to the fans. So if we want more viewership, obviously, at the end of the day, where's the biggest market of football? It's obviously the United States. And then you have so many imports on each team and football is growing. It's like, why not? Why can't we push to have like maybe an English broadcasting? Why can't we maybe the media just keeping year round of people involved, the fans involved with the flag football starting up in the LFA, which is awesome. It's awesome to see because it's trying to create a year round thing where it keeps fans involved. It creates that fan base, that foundation of always talking about it. I'm ready to create that little bit of rivalry within your friend group of, oh, this is my team, that's your team, kind of like the NFL for say.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that we can improve on here in the LFA that I'm pushing for is not only to help for viewership, but also just to create something for everyone that can watch, whether that's English speaking, that's in Spanish or whatever language that you see fit. Well, just to get everyone involved is only going to help this league grow more and more.
Hey, maybe you've given us an idea. Maybe we'll start Players Only podcast.
There you go. I got the perfect two announcers right here.
Yeah. Maybe that's something we'll
Hopefully our English not too shabby for your friends and family over there.
No, you're doing great. You're doing great.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Appreciate
We
it.
It's a lot better than my second language, I'll tell you that.
We appreciate that. And the other thing that we wanted to talk with you about is just the draft. No, you obviously also, like we said previously, went pretty heavily on offensive linemen. But the other thing they did that we thought was pretty interesting because we followed this player, Patricio Quiroga, no, the player from Auténticos Tigres, a quarterback. We followed obviously his college career, incredibly talented, incredibly accomplished QB at the college level here in Mexico. Just for you as a quarterback, this may be a new dynamic. I don't know for you, like being as sort of a mentor to a younger Mexican quarterback. What have you seen from him? What have you talked with him about just football in general that maybe you would like to share for us? And are you relishing this like new perspective as the older statesman in the quarterback room, maybe?
I welcome it with open arms, obviously, because at the end of the day, it's whatever we can do to better our team. That's what we want to do. Pato is what I call him. Pato he's a great guy. He's a great quarterback. Obviously, he excelled very well in college, and I'm very glad to have him in our quarterback room just because he's not only going to make me better, he's going to be those set of eyes that maybe when I don't see something, I can go to him and pick his brain of like, hey, what'd you see here? What do you recommend? And we can go off that and vice versa. I think it brings another coach kind of on the field with you at all times just to pick each other's brains because quarterbacks see things a little bit different than everyone else. Yeah. And that it's awesome to have. And I welcome that with open arms. He's a great dude, and I can't wait for the season with him.
And just keeping on that subject is the other thing that we feel like you probably have an interesting perspective on is just you've talked a little bit about how good the college level here is in Mexico, how good our college professional players. Obviously, you have an important base of Mexican players, Richarte, Perez, Cuevas. You guys have a lot of Mexican contributors. But is there something that you've seen over the last few years in LFA from Mexican athletes in general or Mexican players in general that you feel, and maybe just speaking specifically on the quarterback position, that now with Pato and the other guys across the league, that you feel like maybe this is something that Mexican players can improve to get to a much better level? No, that's one thing that we were kind of curious if you have any insight on that.
Honestly, I think there's some very good athletes from Mexico, coming from the college level. I just maybe not put in the right position, maybe not put in the best place to succeed. Whether that be in the concept, the routes, or just getting the playing time that they deserve, I can't speak highly enough of those guys that have been here with us, like you mentioned, Cuevas, Richarte, Choco, Uriel, all those guys. They're very good talent. Obviously, knowing that they've played in the CFL, they've been on those rosters, they have that experience, and obviously it goes to show how great of athletes they are. And that speaks for every team in the league because obviously there's every team has those set of players on there, those core guys that have played at a high level. And honestly, it's just I just think that's just what the league's getting to is everyone that's stepping on the field. They're going to bring it to a high level of play, and you're going to get the best every given day or every game that you get playing. So I can't speak highly enough of those guys, and I think the level of play is only getting better in Mexico. And I like to say too is I think the imports can help in that way as well. It's not only a quarterback. Why only the quarterback mentor? Why not everyone? Because they can help Americans just as we can help the Mexico guys. And so it's at the end of the day, you're on the same team. Why not help each other grow? Whether that's pick their brains, help them study film, see it from a American side of whether like those guys that played in the UFL, the CFL, or some guys NFL rookie camps and stuff like that. It's just always finding ways to improve and just piling back into the foundation and of the core value of trying to get better as a team.
And you've touched a little bit on this, but just if you could expand on how much do you feel the level of LFA has grown from where you first came here in 2022 to where it is now in 2025? Because obviously, there's a lot more foreign players on the field, which we believe that obviously helps a little bit to grow the level. But just in general, like from when you came to the league now in 2022 to where it is now, are you like just surprised about how much has it grown in just such a small amount of time?
Yes. Yes and no in a sense, because I think we're at the end of the day, you want to put on a platform and a show for the fans, because without the fans, then there's no league. And so whether that be putting 8 imports on the field at once or putting 2, at the end of the day, you're going to play your best players, and winning is all that matters. So whether that you play 2 guys that are Americans and the rest Mexico guys and you win, perfect. What's nothing wrong with that, right? You're getting the job done, and vice versa. And so one thing I like to say is I don't think there's necessarily a drop off. I don't think that just because the level of play in Mexico is so high and the very, very well played football here, like you mentioned about the Monterrey teams in college, it's Borregos and Tigres. It's if everyone can have those set of guys, and Mexico City has some great teams as well and elsewhere, but it's just finding those right guys that fit your scheme, your concepts, and letting them excel, like we've seen with I always talk about Bruno. I talk about Guillermo Villalobos. Great guys that have been in, like Diego as well. Just great guys that have been in this league that have set the foundation to lead us in the right direction of growing this game in Mexico. It's only going to help everyone involved.
So, are you, from hearing you speak, you don't you sound like a player that's gonna keep playing here in Mexico for a while. Is that something that you've talked about? Are you like maybe seeing into the future? Do you want to stay here for another 3-4 years? Have you talked with ownership at all, or are you more closer to retirement than maybe some of us might think?
That's a great question. I honestly don't know. Just because there is stuff going on off the field where I have a 18-month-old son now. We're finishing up our house being built this month. So a lot of things can change. So I'm not closing the door, but I'm also just not saying, I got 5 more years in me. I got 3 more. Because, something in the blink of an eye, things can change. And so I don't like the promises on things that I can't keep. I enjoy playing football. I love football. I can't see myself not playing football, but my family is more important. I'm not saying that this is it. I'm not saying I have 3 more years, but as long as I'm enjoying it, as long as it's doing what's best for me and my family, and props to my wife because I don't know how she does it, but just me being here while she's solo parenting as building a house and all this. So I can't speak highly enough of her just because without her, this wouldn't be possible and I wouldn't be able to be in Mexico playing the game that I love.
Man, we would love that you stay here for 5, 10, 15 years. I don't know, because you're one of the great ambassadors of the LFA, and they always talk about quarterbacks being quarterbackil, and you're like the perfect example of how to conduct yourself as a professional. And thanks for the shout out.
It's well deserved.
I live right now in Puebla, and I have been in talks with Arcángeles, but probably I'm not gonna play anymore because I already hung up the cleats. But really appreciate it. Now, before ending, for a closing dynamic of the interview, we just want to hit you up with some quick hitters, quick questions. Feel free to expand on each of the questions, and whatever you feel answering and expanding, feel free to do that. We wanted to ask you first, favorite quarterback growing up?
Favorite quarterback growing up? I feel like you'd be biased to not say Tom Brady. Other than Tom Brady, just physical attributes, I'm an Aaron Rodgers guy. I think he plays the game at a high level. His throwing motion, it's like, who wouldn't want to throw like that? Who wouldn't want to have that arm? So it's if I had to pick one, I'm picking Tom Brady, but man, it'd sure be good to throw like Aaron.
Is there a QB you like to study, or that you admire just how he plays the position besides Brady or Rodgers?
To put myself in their shoes, I think Baker Mayfield. Just a little bit undersized, but make up for it elsewhere. Whether that be with your brains, off the field, being that leader, just bringing the energy. Just because in the blink of an eye, things cannot go your way, but everybody gets their head down. It's like I want to be that uplifting guy that, hey, we're still in this game. Let's go put some points on the board and show everybody else, like, hey, the game's not over. So I think Baker Mayfield does a great job at that.
Favorite non-quarterback player?
Favorite non-quarterback player? It's hard not to like Rob Gronkowski. Nice. On and off the field. So he's someone that it's just a physical specimen. It's like, man, I wish he could have at least 5 more years, but he's someone that I always enjoyed watching.
Awesome. Favorite passing concept? Is there any concept in particular you enjoy running? Mesh. Yeah,
kind of like good old air raid quarterback.
I feel like just so you can run it so many different ways that it's you man or zone, you can find a hole.
Favorite pregame hype song?
Favorite pregame hype song? Oh, let's see. One that I go to. I'm not really a pregame hype song, but I'm a pregame hype video.
Okay.
You pull up Tavon Austin highlights, or
I'm watching Kyler Murray highlights in high school.
Oh,
I think he's the best high school player ever. So I'm a
he's
little
a
biased.
contemporary of you, right?
Say it again.
He played while you were in high school. Were you like contemporary?
Yeah, so he graduated in 2015, I believe, and I graduated the year after in 2016.
Okay.
Okay.
So, so I'm always at him, and I always watch Johnny Manziel college highlights at A&M too. Just I know that's not my level of play, but it gets me hyped, and I get excited and ready to go play after that.
Awesome. And we don't want to put you in the spot here, but if you had to choose between Texan, Louisiana, or Mexican cuisine, which one would be your choice?
Ooh, I'd say Texas because you get a little bit of all three.
Okay.
Just depending where you are, because I mean it is a little bit different in Texas with the Mexican food, just because we created our little Tex-Mex involved. But it's hard not to like some bistec especial. So that and campechanas, they can win you over. So I like all three pretty good, but if I had to choose, I'm a little biased to Texas.
Is there a favorite spot of you in Monterrey for food, for tacos or anything?
There's one by our house over here. We call it Danny Taco. When my first year we got here, the name of it's not called Danny Taco. It's like Tacos y Perifico y Papas. We call it Danny Taco because after the first year, our guy retired, and we think we were the reason for that. So we enjoy it, and it's such an easy little after practice, a little go get some dinner.
Country where Shelton Eppler would like to retire. That's a tough one, and sorry for putting you on the spot again, but
that I would like to retire. I'd say Mexico.
Let's go.
Put your feet up on the beach somewhere in Mexico and enjoy life.
Awesome. Favorite football memory, whether it's high school, college, or now pro football?
Favorite memory, I'd probably say I have two. When winning my state championship my junior year in high school in Dallas Cowboys Stadium, and then also playing LSU in Baton Rouge for their first night game against Joe Burrow and those guys.
How's the experience playing Baton Rouge?
It was crazy because funny story, Ed Ogeron, which was the head coach for LSU, actually played at Northwestern State where I went to college and started his coaching career there. And so that was the first quarterback in Northwestern State history to throw a touchdown against LSU. So like something little to cherish, but playing in front of like 105,000 is always fun.
Sure.
I was hoping that you would say the Hail Mary to Tavares Batiste 2022.
There's too many good ones. That one, and then obviously winning the championship. So Tazón Mexico. So
there are not many plays when I see American football that make me jump out of my seat. And I remember I was watching the game semifinal and like, oh, okay, this wrapped up. I'm just going to throw a Hail Mary. It's going to get either batted down or tackled. I literally jumped and screamed out of my seat. I couldn't believe that. It was
I felt the same way. I still don't know how it happened. I'm almost still in shock to this day. But Duke Tavares Batiste, he's a great guy, and it couldn't have been someone better than him.
Do you mind sharing what the play call is? What's the?
Yeah, if I remember correctly, it was just a little trips right, a 3x1, and I believe we ran like a little scissors concept. And before the play, I think that was a play Torrin Justice went down on a comeback and was cramping. So he was off the field, and it was just like, you know what, just give our guy a chance because I honestly don't know what's going to happen. Just throw it up because Duke's down there somewhere. and it ended up working out perfect. He spun off a tackle, and luckily enough, we scored. So
because if I recall right, you didn't have timeouts. You didn't. That was probably the last play because
that was
the middle. It's the last play, and man, he did a great play for you guys, and then you went on to win the championship.
And again, not to put you in the spot, but hopefully not to get too controversial here, but best wide receiver you've ever played with?
Best wide receiver I've ever played with. Can I have a top three?
Sure.
I'd say in no particular order, I'd say Jazz Ferguson. He was my receiver at Northwestern State. He went on to Seahawks minicamp and led them there in touchdowns and yards in the minicamp. Then I'm a little biased. Torrance, my guy. I played with him since junior college and ended up still continuing here. So I love Torrance. And third,
too many good ones.
That's a pickle. I'd say a 3A and a 3B is Duke and Tommy. Duke and Tommy. Those are my guys, and obviously they're coming back for certain because they're so dang good. And I'm blessed to be in the position I'm in with those guys that I get to play with. So those are my guys, and I look forward to playing another year with them.
No feelings are getting hurt.
Yeah, no hard feelings to anyone listening, but I enjoyed it, and I've played with some great talent over the years.
Now, if your life were a movie, who would play you? Or who would you like to play you?
My life for a movie, who would I like to? I'm an action guy, so I think Tom Cruise.
Nice.
So, Shelton, just anything else, a quick message you'd like to share, especially with the fans in Monterrey, that I think they're obviously pretty excited about this new season, trying to bring a championship back to Monterrey, something you'd like to share with the audience and specifically the fans up there in Monterrey?
Absolutely. I think not only for the fans of Monterrey, but the fans of the LFA and in Mexico is just thank you for welcoming me with open arms. I'm very blessed to be in the position I'm in, playing at such a great organization and an even better city. So thank you so much, and welcome me and my family like y'all have, because we wouldn't be back here for year 4 if it wasn't that way.
No, thank you very much, Shelton. I just noticed in the schedule, I live in Puebla, so you're going to play Arcángeles at, I think, week 8.
Yes, sir.
At Puebla, so hopefully my brother can come down from Ciudad de Mexico and we can catch up in person. It was a great pleasure having you here. Thank you for your time. Thank you for making a space in your schedule, and hopefully we can get many more interviews with you at Players Only Podcast, and really appreciate it. And we really admire your professionalism on and off the field, and not only as a player, but as a person. And we only hear high praises from you, from players and people from Monterrey, and we really appreciate you having the time to be at Players Only Podcast.
Absolutely. I thank y'all for having me, and obviously look forward to seeing y'all in Puebla, but if y'all can commentate that game, that'd be even better. So there you go.
Hey, you never know. I can Joe Flacco that game.
There you go.
Maybe.
That's awesome. Nice. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for having me, guys. And I look forward to what's to come. And again, thank you.
Oh, thank you, Shelton. And hopefully we'll have you as a guest in a very short time again.
Absolutely. I look forward to it.
Appreciate it, Shelton. I'm going to remove you from stage. Thank you very much. Esto fue Shelton Eppler, quarterback de Osos Monterrey. De verdad, una de mis entrevistas favoritas, y siempre creo que es el cuarto jugador que tenemos en el Players Only Podcast y el segundo jugador de LFA que tenemos, y de verdad te das cuenta, ¿no?, de la calidad, no solamente como jugador, pero como persona, y pues un embajador en toda la expresión de la palabra de lo que debe ser un quarterback, un profesional y pues un jugador de la LFA.
Sí, no, 100%. La verdad es que justamente lo que decías ahí al final, la verdad es que solo o sea, la gente que convive con él día a día, ya sea jugadores, coaches, todos te hablan muchas cosas muy positivas de Shelton. Creo que LFA, digo, no solo Osos, o sea, francamente no solo Osos Monterrey, pero LFA en general se ganó. Tienen un gran embajador, güey, o sea, tienen una gran pieza ahí que puede ayudar a crecer no solo a la liga, pero el deporte en general aquí en México, y ojalá lo tengamos aquí en el país por muchos años, porque la verdad es que, pues bueno, lo decíamos, ¿no? O sea, lo que ha hecho en este periodo ya de 4 años ha sido bastante bueno. Obviamente las expectativas para Osos son altísimas este año, pero bueno, creo que comandados por Eppler, digo, ya lo guardaremos el comentario para nuestra previa más formal de la temporada, pero obviamente se perfila, ¿no? Yo creo que ahorita a lo mejor si hubiera casas de apuestas siguiendo el tema, probablemente Osos se perfila como el favorito para el campeonato obviamente por el tema de la salida de Jamie Johnson de Caudillos.
Claro que sí. Antes de terminar, te tengo algo como que un poquito out of left field. Me quedé un poco con el inglés, pero como que a ver si no te agarro un poco en curva. Quería platicar nada más rápido aquí al aire sobre el equipo de Arcángeles de Puebla, porque hay algo que me llama bastante la atención. Y antes de decir lo que voy a decir, quiero decir algo, creo que el equipo de Arcángeles, creo que ha hecho cosas bastante bien, o sea, estás viendo inclusive espectaculares aquí en la ciudad, el tema
Oh,
del staff de cochea, digo, es algo no muy común lo de los espectaculares, pero bueno, aquí en Puebla lo ves, he visto al menos o 3 o 4 en avenidas principales y creo que es algo súper importante tener un poco de pues, esto, ¿no? Out of home, espectaculares, que sea visible, ¿no? El tema de LFA y Arcángel específicamente, el tema del staff de coacheo, creo que le han creo que la han sacado del parque, inclusive podría decir el coach Gato Silva, que tiene antecedentes en la UANL, que va a ser el coordinador defensivo, el coach Tyson López, que pues, digo, tiene mucha experiencia en el NFL, inclusive exjugador del SEM, el coach Juan Wong, que tiene experiencia en Dorados Monterrey, tiene experiencia inclusive en NFL Europa, Marco Martos, y controversial que pueda ser, pues bueno, es una figura que sabe de fútbol americano y esperemos que lo haga bastante bien, ¿no? Entonces, eso del tema del staff, me consta, y esto sí me consta bastante, que hay dinero, que hay recurso, que el recurso económico que están teniendo a su disposición para los jugadores es importante porque de verdad lo están tratando bastante bien. Es lo que, así lo voy a dejar, pero
ok, ok.
así lo voy a dejar. Lo único que sí voy a decir, si tú te metes a ver cuánto cuestan los boletos, no sé si has pagado tu boleto, seguramente boletos del FA, o sea, tú te
Sí,
metes a ver cuánto cuestan los boletos, están como en 500 pesos ir a ver un partido de Arcángeles,
uh,
450 pesos más un como service fee que te cobran como de 50, 59 pesos. Viendo tu cara como que en verdad sí te das cuenta como que parece algo
pero, pero incluye algo como,
pues no lo sé y es algo que he platicado con mucha gente de aquí, pues le digo, yo vivo aquí en Puebla, tengo varios amigos y yo creo que, o sea, meter a gente en el estadio para un club, para un equipo de fútbol americano al cual no le tienes ni una sola afinidad, o sea, ¿verdad? Apenas se está instalando en la ciudad de Puebla, es algo novedoso, es 100% una novedad, digo, tiene desde febrero que se anunció el equipo, en verdad como que no se sabía mucho de esta franquicia hasta que se anunció prácticamente, pero 500 pesos para un boleto de LFA, güey.
pero no entiendo, güey, o sea, porque para empezar, ¿nos van a poder vender alcohol, por ejemplo?
Lo que he escuchado es, por ser institución académica, pues tienen esa traba, y como tienen el apoyo del gobierno, parece ser que sí van a poder consumir alcohol, no en el estadio, es la información que tengo hasta ahora, parece ser que no en el estadio, pero en el tailgate, en el pregame, sí va a haber venta de alcohol, habrá que ver si la van a autorizar en las gradas, en el cráter azul. No sé qué incluye esto, pero honestamente, y digo, esto es un mensaje para la franquicia, o sea, 500 pesos por un boleto de la FA definitivamente es un paso en falso, o sea, impresionante porque tú ves, por ejemplo, Caudillos creo que cobraba 100 o 200 pesos, creo que los boletos rondan más o menos entre 100, 200 pesos a lo mucho, y digo, yo no he sido espectador en muchos partidos, así que quizás estoy hablando un poco de la ignorancia, pero 500 pesos se me hace una cantidad ridícula. Eres una familia de 3 y te cuesta 1,500 pesos ir a ver un partido, pues obviamente creo que mucha gente va a decir, ¿sabes qué? Mejor los veo en YouTube, mejor los veo por televisión, pero nada más como que es un comentario que me gustaría hacer nada más para ver si se puede como recalibrar en este sentido, porque 500 pesos por un boleto de LF es absurdamente caro, güey.
Estoy choqueado, güey, con lo que me estás diciendo, güey.
Si quieres te mando el link para que lo cheques, güey, porque parece ser que no me crees, güey. O sea, tú te puedes meter
No,
a
no,
la
no,
página.
no, sí te creo, nomás no, pues no, güey, no, para nada me lo imaginaba. O sea, a ver, güey, no, no veo un modelo de negocio viable ahí. Digo, LFA
Y
todavía
aparte, digo, o sea, juegas, ok, en el caliente, dices, bueno, pues el estadio, la experiencia, venta de alcohol, hay un bar en el área de palcos, ok. Pero estás hablando del cráter azul, que digo, para nada quiero menospreciar el Tec Puebla y el cráter azul, pero pues es un estadio que tiene gradas de cemento, nada más, tiene es de aforo
No, a
limitado.
ver, sí, digo, no es por despreciarlo ni nada, pero no es el escenario más cómodo para, digo, yo como fan creo que nomás he ido una vez, pero pues sí, güey, no es exactamente un lugar cómodo para ver un partido, güey.
Entonces, pues digo, si lo está escuchando alguien de Arcángeles, de la franquicia, no sé, creo que van a batallar bastante, a menos de que tengan una estrategia de mercadotecnia o de publicidad impresionante, no lo sé, pero 500 pesos por un boleto para ver consumir LFA se me hace bastante caro, más cuando eres una franquicia que apenas va empezando, como que quiere conectar con la ciudad, quieres conectar con la gente de Puebla y no sé, 500 pesos se me hace absurdamente elevado el precio.
Pues digo, no sé, habrá que esperar. Digo, aquí nos comenta nuestra amiga Gabriela, que nos pregunta quién es el coordinador ofensivo. Yo no lo tengo identificado, no sé si tú.
Coordinador ofensivo, sé que el coordinador del run game es el coach Jonathan Aldrete, el coach Bocas, que tiene antecedente en Borreos Monterrey, y el coordinador del passing game es el coach Wong, el coach Juan Wong. Eh, Todavía no tengo claro si el coach Martos va a terminar siendo el play caller, esto está por verse, pero bueno, es coordinador de run game, coach Aldrete, y coordinador del passing game, el coach Wong. Entonces, así se está conformando el staff de coacheo, que la verdad es un staff de coacheo de peso, es un staff de coacheo bastante experimentado, ¿no? Por eso reitero, como que hay cosas que han acertado en este proceso rápido, digo, son 3 meses prácticamente donde han tenido que levantar la franquicia, pero sí, los boletos, ojalá, ojalá no se mantengan en eso, porque yo creo que sí van a batallar bastante en meter gente al estadio.
Wow, estoy impresionado, güey, y pues habrá que esperar. Digo, ya vi el link, abrí el link que me enviaste y sí, están entre 300 y 450 pesos más o menos. Entonces, pues habrá que ver, digo,
O sea, pero
es
te cobran un
más un
service fee,
vivo, como de
ajá,
50 pesos, a lo que estaba viendo.
de,
Este, duro, noticia dura, pero lo que sí, o sea, lo que me habías comentado ahorita de que Arcángeles se ve como una organización mucho más consolidada para ser un equipo de año uno en LFA, lo comentamos hace un par de semanas. Creo que la clave para ellos es la inversión que han hecho en la línea ofensiva, ¿no? Ya lo decíamos ahí con Abraham Chacón, Jeremy West, creo que, o sea, están, por lo menos la construcción del roster me parece que está partiendo del lugar correcto, ¿no? Que eso es importante.
tuve la oportunidad de ver una de sus prácticas y la defensiva se ve legit, se ve legítima, o sea, de verdad ves piezas que se han insertado bien, de Devin Smith, ya lo comentábamos, Marcos Aguinaga, que va a ser novato de Burros Blancos, eh, creo que hay piezas interesantes llamado Newman, que tiene antecedente en Galgos y en Azteca Sutlab, o sea, creo que hay las piezas necesarias. Ya tenemos calendario, no lo vamos a revisar a detalle, nada más semana 1 abre Arcángeles, recibe a Gallos, Mexicas recibe a Raptors en el clásico capitalino, Osos recibe a Dinos en el clásico del norte, el clásico de la Sultana del Norte, y Caudillos recibe a Reyes. Entonces, creo que partidos atractivos, creo que Arcángeles Gallos me parece buen barómetro para el equipo de Arcángeles, digo, no lo están echando a los Lobos como sería, no sé, con Osos o con Caudillos, creo que Arcángeles Gallos tiene pinta para hacer un buen partido. Y digo, tienes el clásico de la Sultana del Norte y tienes el clásico capitolino. Y digo, Reyes, Caudillos, Perkins, uno de nuestros protagonistas estelares de esta pretemporada, ver cómo se inserta con el equipo de Reyes contra uno de los, pues el equipo más consolidado y uno de los rosters más importantes, que es el equipo de Caudillos, ¿no?
Sí, no, 100%. La verdad es que ya urge, ¿no? Ya urge un poquito que empiece el FA. Y nada, sí, digo, ya revisaremos luego el calendario. Ya lo publicó el FA, búsquenlo ahí si no lo tienen presente. Pero ya, güey, creo que ya todos estamos ansiosos de ver acción en el emparrillado y creo que se viene una gran temporada en ese aspecto. Un último tema antes de irnos, que creo que tú no querías platicar, pero nomás aprovechando aquí el espacio. Eh, ¿Viste Last of Us ayer?
Claro que vi Last of Us. Creo que, sin exagerar, creo que he pasado el uno y el 2
Es lo que te iba a decir.
unas 5 veces cada uno, yo creo.
¿Tú has jugado yo el 2, yo el uno sí lo he, el videojuego, el primer videojuego, el título uno, ese sí lo he revisitado un par de veces, creo que son 3 o 4 veces que lo he vuelto a pasar, o vuelto a jugar. El 2 lo jugué una vez cuando salió, me acuerdo, literal, pre-oferta o pre-order el videojuego el día que salió, ya lo tenía aquí en el depa. Lo quise volver a jugar una vez, güey, y nomás no pude, güey, porque es demasiado...
No vayas a spoiler nada más, no
No,
vayas
no,
a
no, a
spoiler.
ver, no vamos a spoilear nada, o sea, para los que no sepan, es la serie de HBO Last of Us basada en un videojuego con Pedro Pascal y Bella Ramsey. Eh, el 2 es una experiencia muy fuerte, muy intensa y ya nomás hablando específico del programa, no sé qué te haya parecido a ti, pero yo tengo mucho miedo de hacia dónde va esto, güey. No me está gustando nada, güey, lo que estoy viendo, güey.
Mira, es algo que platicábamos antes de la entrevista, antes del programa, obviamente en el backstage, como que no podemos hablar mucho sin spoilearlo, porque tú ya hacías algunos comentarios así muy por encimita ahí en tu Twitter. Y creo que me voy a esperar todavía un par de semanas o inclusive digo a final de temporada a ver cómo se termina haciendo esta serie. Eh, Mi primera impresión es, yo también estoy, no necesariamente preocupado, creo que yo estoy un poco resignado. No puedo decir por qué necesariamente, pero creo que, ay, güey, es que es bien difícil sin spoilerlo, güey. Entonces, creo que vamos a revisitar esta conversación, o no sé si tú quieres hacer un comentario adicional sin spoilear la serie. Nosotros somos super fans, digo, tuvimos la oportunidad de jugar los juegos recién salidos en 2013 y 2020. Entonces tenemos como que buena idea de qué es lo que debería ser, porque son obras maestras, honestamente, desde un punto de vista,
El 2 no tanto, güey, siento, güey.
pero te voy a decir, desde un punto de vista, digo, de storytelling sí tiene como que sus retos el 2 porque es bastante lo que quieren abarcar en un solo juego y parece ser que, digo, solo tienen 7 episodios. Hay que ver cómo terminan como que distribuyendo los capítulos, pero desde un punto de vista de storytelling yo creo que es, o sea, estás viendo prácticamente una película en un videojuego. Entonces, y está muy bien hecho, los diálogos están muy bien hechos, las actuaciones de diálogo y digo, también las actuaciones de mocap están excelentemente hechas. Entonces, como que la vara está demasiado alta. O sea, ese es el tema. Nosotros, como somos
Pero,
jugadores de la serie, o sea, jugadores del juego, o sea, jugamos el videojuego, como que tenemos una óptica y una perspectiva muy diferente a alguien que no ha consumido el juego, ¿sabes?
pero como que...
Es que está bien difícil
Sí,
tener.
no, luego lo platicamos, pero la verdad es que, digo, dense una vuelta ahí por la serie, creo que vale la pena, pero...
Es buena. La primera temporada es buena. A mí se me hizo bastante buena. Este primer capítulo, como que te das cuenta como alguien que jugó los videojuegos donde van a tener el principal reto, y no lo puedo decir, pero bueno, es el principal reto que tiene la serie, pero creo que dentro de unas 3, 4 semanas podemos empezar a hablar ya de lleno de la serie si así lo deseas.
Me late.
Pues muy
Audiencia,
bien.
son mi podcast, aviéntense Last of Us para que lo podamos platicar a detalle aquí.
Si hay algún fan ahí, comenten, manden algún mensaje, díganos sus comentarios. Alguien que haya jugado los videojuegos y que esté viendo la serie, adelante, sin problema. Esto fue Players Only Podcast, Pop 101. Espero que lo hayan disfrutado. Lo esperamos la próxima semana. Tenemos también ahí alguna sorpresita. No se lo van a perder. Esto fue Players Only Podcast, presentado por Coach Production. Rodrigo Ruiz Dio, un servidor. Un placer haber